Hey everybody, what's going on? For those of you who don't know me, my name's Kang, and today I'm going to be going over why you should be investing like an idiot. Hopefully you've watched my last two videos and you're saying to yourself, hey man, this Kang guy, he's got a pretty good point. Maybe I should start investing, but I don't really know what to invest into. How do I invest? What stocks do I buy? And to that, I say the answer is pretty simple. You should invest like an idiot. And by idiot, I don't mean like this guy, but I mean like this guy. I consider myself a personal finance nerd, and honestly, investing all my money into stocks, it just goes way over my head. There's all these complicated charts and fancy terms, and on top of that, I gotta listen to the news, I gotta listen to shareholder meetings, it's just way too much sauce. Like, it's too much for me. I don't know about you, but I'd rather spend my free time chilling rather than reading textbooks and stressing over things that I can't control. At the end of the day, I'm not smart enough, not skilled enough, and definitely not brave enough to invest all my money into individual stocks. I'm just not up like that. This is where I would like to introduce the idiot method of investing. It's so simple, not even an idiot can mess it up. And here it is. All you have to do is buy all of the stocks. Yeah, and you heard me right. You just literally buy them all, like buy all of them. Wait, dude, really? All of them? Kinda, but yes, let me explain. Most people don't have the knowledge to understand all this fancy stock stuff that's needed to invest into individual stocks. And the average person is not going to be able to consistently beat the market over a long period of time. And if you had those abilities, you definitely would not be watching this video. So, my solution is, instead of buying individual stocks, what we should do is invest into very diversified ETFs, essentially buying all of the stocks. An ETF, or an exchange traded fund, is a big basket of stocks that tracks a particular market or sector. So when you buy this basket, you're essentially buying a tiny portion of all the stocks in that market or sector. So for example, if you wanted to buy the 500 largest companies in the United States, also known as the S&P 500, you could buy VFV. Or if you wanted to track a particular sector like tech, you could buy the ETF TEC. By investing into ETFs, you instantly become diversified. And if you don't know what diversification means, it's kind of like that saying, don't put all of your eggs into one basket. Since the value of an ETF comes from the average of all the stocks that it holds, you remove a lot of the associated risks if you had only owned one stock. It's like putting all of your eggs into multiple baskets spread over a big field. Now, if one of your baskets breaks or you lose one of them, it's not that big of a deal because you have so many other baskets with all of your eggs. If on the flip side, you held only a couple of companies or a couple of baskets and you put all of your eggs into those baskets, if you lose one of them, it's a big portion of your portfolio or your total egg count. On top of ETFs being super diversified, they're also very simple. You just set it and forget it. You only really have to check your investments once or twice a year. And there's no micromanaging of your investments. You don't have to go in and then buy things, sell things. You just hold one thing, everything. And by owning everything, you essentially become the average. And being average is great. I want to remind you that it only takes 7% to become a millionaire based off compound interest. And on average, the S&P 500 returns 8% a year. And if I don't have you convinced on this whole entire ETF thing, don't listen to me, listen to Warren Buffett, the LeBron James of investing. Or the MJ of investing if you're like 35. Most investors, of course, have not made the study of business prospects a priority in their lives. If wise, they will conclude that they do not know enough about specific businesses to predict their future earning power. He goes on to say, the goal of non-professionals should not be to pick winners, but rather to own a cross-section of businesses that in aggregate are bound to do well. A low-cost S&P 500 index fund will achieve this goal. So basically, Warren Buffett, the world's greatest investor to ever live, thinks that the average person should just invest into boring ETFs. And if you think the idea of investing into ETFs is boring, you're right. But investing is not supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be boring. And I would argue that you would actually want your investments to be boring. Imagine waking up, checking your portfolio, and having a heart attack every single day. That's not me. And if I still don't have you convinced and you still want to buy individual stocks, what you can do and what I do is you can set a large portion aside for your ETFs and then a smaller portion aside for your stocks that you really, really believe in. But regardless of what investments you make, you really have to understand the risk and do your own research. Okay, just to wrap up, in this video, I covered why you should be investing most of your money into ETFs rather than individual stocks. ETFs are easy to use, very diversified, and easy to understand. And on the other hand, stocks are very hard to understand, require a lot of time, and inherently are less diversified and therefore riskier. And of course, these are only my opinions, so you should go out there and do your own research. But other than that, that's all I wanted to say for this video. Thanks for watching if you made it this far. If you liked it, please consider liking and subscribing. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.